G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life. And here on the channel I've slowly been working my way through just about every single generation of Mitsubishi Evo. I did the Evo 5, the Evo 10, more recently the Evo 7, the Evo 4, but now we are coming to one of Mitsubishi's finest. This mini hail, aside from the Evo 9 MR as being one of the greatest Evos ever created. While I have certainly enjoyed most of the Evos that I have driven, this one could very well be the very best, the Evo 8 MR. The engine is of course a 4G63T, a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that Mitsubishi had been using in the Evo all the way back since the Evo 1. For some reason, it was actually Europe that got the most powerful version of the Evo, with the Evo 8 FQ340, which of course makes 340 horsepower. The MR, which of course was for the Japanese market, only makes 276 horsepower, or 206 kilowatt, which is the same as all of the Evos from the past. The most important upgrade though that the Evo 8 MR got over the standard one is of course a 6-speed manual transmission. I've been told that if you want to make power, the 5-speed is the way to go because it's stronger, but having that 6th ratio is quite special and makes this car just that little bit more usable. The power is of course going through a 4-wheel drive system because it is a transverse mounted engine. The majority of the power goes to the front, but it can send power to the back where needed, which does mean that these Evos, unlike the STIs, tend to understeer first, whereas the STIs tend to oversteer first because they send more power to the back. Other upgrades include these bespoke 17-inch BBS wheels, Bilstein suspension all round, an aluminium roof with carbon fiber vortex generators back there, and Recaro seats inside. And now we come to the interior where we can experience these lovely Recaro seats. It seems like just about every 90s and 2000s JDM car came with Recaros, which I'm not necessarily complaining about because they look great and hold you in extremely well. I love this tiny little Momo steering wheel. This is another very cool feature of the car. Surprisingly, in this one, the speedometer goes to 270 kilometers an hour. Given this is an import, I would have assumed it would only go to 180. And unlike the STIs that rev to 8,000 RPM, this one only goes to 7. The rest of the interior is pretty basic, as you would expect. It's nice to have a little Lancer Evolution MR badge down here. The 6-speed manual transmission feels really good, actually. The climate control, if you can even call it that, actually feels surprisingly good. And then of course it just has an aftermarket radio here in the middle. The suede carries over onto the door cards as well, along with this sort of fake carbon fiber trim across the dash. So it's certainly not a particularly well-equipped car. It is just made for driving, but fortunately, because this is before the era of the Mitsubishi, Nissan and Renault alliance, the build quality is actually still really quite good in here. So now let's take the Evo 8 MR for a drive and see what Mitsubishi's finest is like to be behind the wheel of. Driving the Evo 8 MR. Oh yes, that's very nice. That's absolutely 300 odd horsepower. Oh, very quick car. You know, I'm going to make a perhaps slightly controversial statement. Japanese cars are best enjoyed in stock condition. As soon as you fiddle with them, you just make them worse in my mind. Maybe faster, but worse in every other regard. Japanese cars are not particularly drivable to begin with. They're harsh, they're cheaply made, they don't really have any features. By modifying them, you take away what little drivability they still have left and replace it with more speed, which is good, but in my mind also just makes these cars even more unpleasant to live with, whereas this, in bone stock condition with a 6-speed manual transmission, is just driving perfection. The ride quality on the Bilsteins, you can almost call it comfortable. Stock steering wheel that feels amazing. Stock transmission that again is just perfect to go through all the gears. If you added a short shifter, you'd just make it worse. And the engine, peak boost at 3,000 RPM. There's no waiting around for the power, it's just right there. And it's a nice amount of power too. You can actually use it. When you wind it out, you don't get going too quick. But down a typical New Zealand back road like this, Man, you are just flying in this car. It is an occasion, an event to be behind the wheel of. And man, the four-wheel drive system is just amazing, eh? Compared with the Evo 4 that I reviewed earlier today, which tended to understeer, in this one, they've really sorted it out. Down into second, turn in, foot down on corner exit. And man, this thing is just a masterpiece to drive. They've got all of the inputs absolutely perfect. Great steering feel, you know exactly what's happening at the front. And the turn-in is amazing. You turn the wheel and the thing just darts one way or another. Look at how quickly this thing changes direction. It's awesome. The Brembo brakes are just fantastic. You stand on them, bang, oh, it stops so quick. It has so much confidence in the pedal. This is how Mitsubishi intended for this car to be enjoyed, with its factory amount of power on its factory suspension. And as a result, this thing is just brilliant, absolutely joyous to drive. And the fact that it has the 6-speed too means that when you get it out on the motorway, you're done with all your fun and games, put it in 6th gear, and you're doing 2,000 RPM. And it's just such a nice amount of power, eh? It's so quick. First, second, third. Oh yeah. Japan really knew how to make amazing driving cars. And while a lot of JDM cars I feel are a bit overhyped, like the Supra for instance, it's just a luxury GT car, it's not a $100,000 incredible groundbreaking car by today's standards. But one good thing about particularly, not so much the Evos, but certainly the STIs anyway, is that these are still reasonably priced. And in my mind, they're actually some of the best driving Japanese cars. The Supras, they don't drive that great, if I'm honest. This does drive really, really good. The grip from the four-wheel drive system on corner exit is just, oh, amazing. This was a great era for Japanese cars, man. And this Evo 8 MR has got to be one of the very best. If you get the opportunity to drive something like this, I would definitely recommend it, because it will take you back to a time when you really felt something behind the wheel of a car. Mitsubishi has mastered the art with this car of driver enjoyment. Oh, it's so fast. If you want to see some other Evos that I've driven in the past that, while awesome, will probably not live up to this, then click on the links popping up right about now, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time.